Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the 10th Street Journal podcast. My name is Alan, also known as Jogosi here, and we got a full crew this week. Took a little bit of a break, but now we're back. First off, we have Shinogi. What's up, Shinogi?
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, how are you doing, man? How's things going for you this week?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just chilling.
Good, man. Glad you're here.
Excited for this episode, man.
Absolutely. Next up, we got Braxton. How's it going, Braxton?
Going good. How you doing?
Oh, man. Can't complain. And last but absolutely not least, we have the Pope himself. What is up, Pokey?
How's it going, everybody? Blessings to you, Jogosi, Braxton, Shinogi. How you been?
Oh, you know. We're chilling. We're here. I'm going to introduce you like that every single week now, just so that you know that.
Man, you
You
keep
are
doing that.
now our
I'm gonna have to bust out the Pope outfit next time I stream, I guess.
You might have to. I think that's we're going to need to update your picture on the website with that outfit. It's
Yes.
going to need
Which
to happen.
I'm sad because I've recently taken a hiatus from streaming, and then I just met you guys, and I'm like, wow, I've got to pick my game back up now.
Yeah. Oh, man. Cool. Well, this week, like I said, we took a little bit of a break, so we are back with some cool stuff to talk about. Double Masters is on the horizon. We got all the arts and the cards and stuff now, and so we're going to talk some Double Master stuff. We're also going to talk about the Players Tour Finals that are coming up. We have the top 8 lists that are all set, and I believe they're actually even doing pairings or seeding for the top 8 for today as well too. So we don't, at the time of this recording, I don't think we may not necessarily know how the seedings are going to work out, but we know the people in there, and we'll talk about those deck lists. We're talking about the Arena Open that is happening tomorrow on Saturday and Sunday, I guess, as well, too, if you day 2. We'll be talking about what we're playing, what we are expecting to see, all that stuff. And then lastly, we'll be talking about some articles that are coming up on the 10th Street Journal for the coming week. So, to kick things off, let us talk some Double Masters. So, we have all of the arts here for the box toppers, which are the coolest parts of this set, I think. The reprints are really good. There's a lot of cards in this set, but the box topper arts are spectacular. They're all brand new ones. So, I thought it would be cool to kind of get your guys' opinion. What are some of your favorite arts out of the box topper series?
Well, look at that number 1 over there, Avison. Gorgeous.
It's your girl. We zoom in here on this.
It's your girl.
Get a little bit of focus on this. Yeah, this art is super cool.
Yes. I'm so excited too. I'm kind of scared for the price individually, but
Oh yeah.
honestly though, I'm gonna add this to my commander deck.
Well, I'll say this, right? If it's anything, if they're giving out like a random box topper like they did, I don't remember if they're giving out, or maybe they're giving out 2 box toppers. I think they're giving out 2 box toppers with every box, like regular box purchase.
Okay, that's
And
fair.
then also these are coming in the VIP boosters, so it's possible that the price isn't too bad. It's still going to be more than the regular Avison, but like for example, like when UMA or Ultimate Masters came out and they did the box toppers on there, prices were crazy high, right? Like Karn was like $300 at one point, and then it's dropped
Jeez.
considerably since then. So, it may be something that, yeah, you'll just have to kind of hold off, but we'll kind of get into some pricing, finance stuff a little bit later because there is some implications around that. So, cool. Yeah, Avison, great pick. Yeah, the art is super cool. Who did Randy Vargas? Awesome art.
Mm.
Cool. What else? Any other cool ones you guys are looking at and liking
Can't
here?
forget about Stoneforge. Come on now.
Oh, dude, the
I was gonna
Stoneforge
say,
art is sick.
You do your 2. That Stoneforge is a very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel my wallet screaming already because
Yeah.
as a loyal Death and Taxes player, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oof.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 box toppers that I need.
Oh, jeez.
It's just I hurt, but I do have to commend Wizards. I have to commend Wizards for one art in particular, and that's Batterskull. Thank you very much for making another Batterskull art that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
How did-
Okay. I didn't even realize that that's what that was. I saw the art, just the art itself for this on Twitter, and I think Meddling Mage. I think those two, they kind of previewed them together, and I had no clue what the box topper, what this art was for Batterskull. I was like, what is this art? Is it like some like weird worm thing? Is it some like it had to be some equipment or something? But yeah, I didn't no idea that was Batterskull. Jeez.
I actually don't think I've seen the Batter Skull.
It's pretty ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. Again, yeah, doesn't make
Wait.
sense whatsoever.
I really think
I'm-
they hit it out of the ballpark with these. I think it past some box topper art has been a flop. I don't really think they took a chance at, hey, this is box topper art. Let's make it special.
Right.
I appreciate them not redoing Jace the Mind Sculptor. Thank you very much. I wouldn't have been able to tell what that card was.
Yeah, I agree. Like having like thinking about going back to like box like what the box toppers as far as the master sets were concerned, right? Like it's box topper art and UMA was just kind of like extended art, right? It was like whatever the normal art was, and then it extended it out. But in this particular case, I don't think it's the case here, right? I think all the box topper arts are literally just brand new art.
Yes.
As far as they're different art from they're different art from the regular cards themselves as well too. So they actually went the extra mile, got commissioned up some new art, and they definitely nailed it with this one. Braxton, do you have any two off the top of your head that you are like, these are the nuts?
Yes. Yes, actually. The Blue Mage in me loves everything to do with Force of Will and
Ooh.
Cyclonic Rift.
Man, two incredibly powerful cards in their own right, but yeah, the arts are super cool on these two. I like the Force of Will art, actually. I think this is the best Force of Will art that they...
On top of the fact that the flavor text for Force of Will simply says amateur.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, all it is
Yeah,
is
I'm just now
amateur.
reading that.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. That is pretty...
Talking about while it's hurting, those two are good.
Yeah, those are sweet. Definitely sweet. Pokey, I know you had said that you liked the Jace art and the Batterskull art. Any other two that you had off the top of your head, a couple of them that you liked?
Oh, the Jace art was totally a joke. I really wish they would have done something new
Oh,
with
really?
it.
Okay. I mean, there are some people who are, I mean, there are some people who actually think that the
Absolutely.
Jace art would have been fine, or is fine as it
I
is.
do, but I think this art is just. I think that's just what it is. I mean, Jace Mind Sculptor. That's the first one that comes to mind. It's been such an iconic card,
Yeah.
staples in formats. You know, I'm okay with them just not messing with it. The Fatal Push art, honestly, like as a second perspective, is really neat.
Yeah.
The Thoughtseize art kind of harbors back to the original, which I'm not too okay with. Toxic Deluge is the masterpiece. I wanna 8x8 print of this on my wall.
Mm.
Exploration is my phone's background right now. I can't speak anything more about that. I don't really care about the cards. I love the art. The Urza's the land panorama is gorgeous. All five swords remade are gorgeous. Even Wormcoil Engine got a remake, and I wasn't on board with it at first, but I had some very loyal friends talk me over to the side of it.
Convince you otherwise, yeah. Well, I think honestly, so I mean, obviously, all the art they absolutely nailed. They did incredible jobs with it. But I think my personal two favorite arts out of this, Blightsteel Colossus looks insane. It looks like it's the perfect like comic book art, and they previewed this right off the heels of Ikoria, and so we kind of had the comic book aesthetic for the VIP boxes for Ikoria, and so they previewed this, and it fit the aesthetic like timing wise perfectly. So I think that Blightsteel might be one of my favorites, and then also Mox Opal looks sick, but then I think just honorable mention. I don't know if any of you guys noticed the sneak attack art is actually just I think like top tier art of the set, or of the box toppers, because I didn't notice this at first. There's actually a little dragon, dragon head chilling back here.
Okay.
behind behind
All
these.
these
Oh
orcs
no
and whatever.
way!
Yeah, there's little
I
dragon
did not
eyes
notice. I did not notice that. I thought this was just like some
like around there. Yeah.
orcs and stuff. Like they were just camping out, ready for like a sneak attack, like the
Right.
next
No.
day or something. Like
No. The tables have turned. The tables have turned, and there's a dragon just chilling back there. So I think that nails like top tier flavor art for the set. But yeah, everybody all
That's all I gotta say.
yeah, all of these arts though are absolutely spectacular. And kind of to lead into the next point here of is this is a master set. It's truly a full blown reprint set. A lot of the cards that we had talked about are cards that were desperately needing reprints. Blightsteel Colossus, Mana Crypt, Mox Opal, uh, Chromox for that matter is absolutely of needing one. Jace is needing one. There's a ton of great cards in here that are needing reprints. Um, what are what are kind of some of the cards out of just the set in general you guys are pretty excited to see or be able to actually get your hands on a little bit easier than you were before?
Land tax.
Oh, okay.
I feel like the price is going to go a little down since they're reprinting it.
Yeah.
So land tax would be another one. I'm adding that to my commander deck as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, I'm going down the list right now.
I know we called out a bunch of rares and mythics, but can we please talk about the $25-$30 uncommon Manamorphose that finally got a reprint?
Oof.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is pretty factual.
Yeah, that is true. That's also like I remember back with Fulminator Mage was like $40 and I couldn't play Jund because Fulminator Mage was way outside of like my price budget, and now I think it's like $3 or something. It's like dirt
Mhm.
cheap now, so that's awesome to see.
Can
Risk
we
the
also talk about the
Redeemed
fact?
getting a reprint.
Can we talk about the fact that you were playing Jund and Fulminator Mage was the card that was the issue price tag wise?
So
'Cause,
yeah,
that's a deck that has Goyf and Liliana the Veil
true,
and Fulminator
true,
Mage is your issue
very
card.
true.
Not even
And
to
that's where
talk
all
about
my money went to.
the $45 filter lands too.
All my money went into Lily and Goyf. And so I didn't have the money for Fulminators at the time. So I was just like, oops, well, I missed out on that one.
On a serious note though, this set, like from a drafting standpoint, looks like so much.
Yeah, they usually do a really good job with like these master sets being a prime draft experience.
Exactly.
And actually, speaking to that, I think it's actually really, really cool that they printed Thopter Sword combo in the set as well too. So you actually have, and they're both uncommons. So it's not, or I'm sorry, Sword of the Meeks are rare, but Thopter Foundry is an uncommon. So it's entirely possible you luck into this, into the combo during your draft, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, you just have to Thopter Sword of Mana Echoes and you win.
Yeah, that's insane. Also, let's see here. Anything else sticking out that's sweet?
This whole set is good. I don't really care the price tag on drafts. I'm gonna do it. I am
Oh
gonna
yeah.
again stick to my guns and filter back for singles because I mean there's a lot of big hitters in here. Doubling Season, Imperial Recruiter. There's a lot of cards I have never seen before in here too that I'm glad got reprinted because I looked at previous prices and I'm like, wow,
Expensive.
uh,
Much.
expensive. Council's
Yeah.
Judgment is a fun card.
Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Thank you.
commander staples in here. Though.
Hierarch has been
Yeah.
beaten down below the sub 40 range for a while, and I'm glad that's where it's at.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
jumped off my playset when they were like 85 apiece.
Very nice.
Never regretted it.
Absolutely not. Yeah, this is definitely, you definitely hit a point there that this is pretty heavily, and I know that they said this was very similar, like, I think UMA kind of also had this, but, like, Commander Masters, essentially, of, like, that's what, UMA was also kind of hearkened as, is, like, a really solid and incredible, reprint set for Commander, and I think this is just, pushing that bar even higher, like tons of staples for Commander out of this set. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah,
Any other cards here that you guys are thinking about that are super sweet? Oh, Oubliette. We gotta call that one out. I think is probably the oldest card in the set that hasn't gotten a reprint
And
until
wasn't the
now.
original copy have like a whole paragraph,
Yeah.
like
It
yeah,
does.
because
chapter?
it it basic it it basically got the current permanent phases out before phasing was a keyword.
Yeah.
That's essentially what Oiblet was.
Yeah, I remember seeing it like having like a whole chapter book in that little box right there.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
it was a really expensive card just because it was only printed once, and was it was
It was a
just
common.
art. Yeah, it was a common, but it was still impossibly expensive. Um, and so yeah, I mean this is something that is actually really cool because for anybody who plays Pauper, you get this in Pauper now. You get access to it because it was a common in the first place. You could play it, so that's super cool. And I expect that it will be making some interesting waves. I don't play Poppers, so that's just yeah.
Bone Picker. Speaking of Popper, Bone Picker
Oh yeah.
becoming a common is huge.
I
Cast
thought,
Down becoming a common is huge.
you're gonna ruin my whole article this week.
Oh.
I'll shut up. I'll shut up. What do you know?
I
What do you
thought
know?
I
I'll
thought
shut
I,
up.
I thought I posted a note earlier. I scrolled through the Discord real quick and I realized I didn't. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm actually super excited for every single
sorry,
downshifted
that's my
card
one.
in Popper.
All right,
Yeah.
We'll let you talk about downshifted cards.
Popper, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was just like
Oh,
zoned out and I was like, wait a minute.
good job on cutting me off.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, there's not really much more that can be said. This set is sweet. If you're able to pick one up from your LGS, absolutely do it. If you're able to pick one up online, absolutely do it. Uh, I expect the EV of this set. I mean, for whatever reason, and I don't know, maybe this is just because I've been seeing a lot of collector boosters open for like M21 and stuff, but like I have a good feeling about the EV about this box over the long term. I think there's some really cool, like there's a lot of like high tier 1, tier 0 like reprints out of this set that over time, I mean, they're just going to come back up again in price. So definitely look to pick this up if you can. But kind of talking about finances, we do want to talk about the Double Masters VIP boosters, and kind of what that entails. And I know that everybody's kind of heard about this already, and I'm sure that everybody has complained about this already, that they are $100 a pack, which is insane. Now, that being
Yeah,
said, um, since it is Double Masters, you are getting they did say that they're doing double the cards in these packs, right? So apparently each of the packs. Oh wait, is this the VIP? Is this the VIP booster? VIP edition? Yeah, okay, so like you're getting double the cards per pack, I guess, and so there is something to be said about that, and you have like lots of opportunities at these box toppers. That's pretty cool. They're also reprinting the unhinged lands in new border, for the VIP sets, which is sweet. Very very cool
and
there.
some Zendikar arts with that no border.
I feel like if you're wanting to get in on this, you got to go fast when it first comes out because it's gonna be sold out pretty quick, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Even
I
though it's like, really expensive and people are like complaining, we're gonna buy
you're
it
not
no
wrong.
matter what.
You're not
I mean,
wrong.
they are.
Yeah.
We're also in a very as far as market economy goes, we're in a recess, and I've noticed that even at my I know LGS, and I'm gonna say the no words here. But places like Target and Walmart aren't even getting restocked on anything. So whatever your LGS is gonna have, that's gonna be it. Don't look for the MSRP bargains anywhere. Just go straight to your LGS. Please support them. Buy from them. I guarantee you, they're gonna get you the best distributor price. You're probably gonna be able to get multiple of it there. But yeah, the way these things go, I mean, it's kind of a I'm a devil's advocate on this. I don't like big whale products like this at all. I think it's just cardboard. I think it should just be in the set. You should have box toppers. You should have like premium packs like they've been doing and leave it at that. But on the other side, there's a lot of big bombs in this set. You got 33 cards. You get 2 foil showcases and 2 foil rares or mythics. Honestly, if I had to spare scratch around, I'd buy 1 or 2.
I mean, I've always been saying the VIP, or not VIP, but the special edition boxes are just overkill, in my opinion. I like buying just regular booster box. You know, I just think the $200 booster box versions is just overkill, in my opinion.
I
It's
tend
just
to
that's
agree
just
with you.
me.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I so I like it and I don't. Like I personally don't usually buy a ton of it. I'll buy I think I bought because of what the Ikoria arts were, I bought a collector's box of Ikoria because those were just too nice not to buy. But then like I took those and I like turned them in and whatnot. But like I like the option for people who want the big, the bad, the very nice cards. They have this other option that they can buy from. Is it usually overpriced? Yes, but it's at least an option.
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, these are definitely targeted at a very specific kind of people, right? Like the people who want to,
More on the collector side
yeah,
of it.
just that's. I mean, that's what they're for, right? They are like collectors boosters. That's what they called. They're called collectors boosters for a reason, right? So that kind of makes sense. That's what they're, that they're being, that they're targeting specifically people who just want cool art, who want to have it. They're not maybe necessarily using them for play, or maybe they're using them for commander, and where in a format like commander where showing off your deck and it's more kind of about like your expression of yourself versus being competitive a lot of the time. So like that kind of makes sense there. But yeah, so Braxton mentioned they are doing the Zendikar arts again. Some of the Zendikar arts, they didn't do the Bowl Island, which I think is a big misstep there. But I like them bringing the
Uh,
back bringing yeah, which that's unfortunate. But I do like them bringing back the unhinged lands, which is those are always some of the most iconic basic arts kind of in the game. So absolutely good stuff there. Now I will say, um, you know, you're right. People are going to buy these things, right? It's going to happen. Um, People are going to somehow find expendable income to throw a pack around or two. We're probably not going to. I mean, there are always people who who have stocked up for this, who have saved up for this, who are maybe still able to work, or who are able to somehow secure other means to get this product. But it's going to get bought. It's still going to be heralded as a success by Wizards for sure. They're going to keep doing it. It's going to happen. And unfortunately, not much we can do or say about it. But at least it's not the only product, right? Like that's kind of the point, right? Is that it is a supplementary product. We're not forced to buy this stuff. And if we want it, we can buy it. But um, we can get our cards through the standard means, anyways.
and I think a big point to make is, these cards may be nice and whatnot, but please do not hurt your finances to get these. Please do not risk putting food on your table over some of these cards. That's kind of something that I always am big on is, if you can buy it, get it, but do not hurt other aspects of your life over a cool looking magic.
And I
Yeah,
feel like that's an issue because like even me sometimes when I go in my local game store and all that stuff, I'm just like I see something, I'm like, okay, I got it, I need it. You know, it's like I was like when Ikoria came out, I bought 2 boxes, like right then and there. So I feel like it's like new product, you just like want it so bad. So I get the urge.
No, absolutely. I will agree with that. I have always been, every time there's something big bad, it's definitely a huge contemplation on me too. Do I need it? Can I afford
Yeah.
it? And whatnot. So
I'm
like
always at ends
that
with myself.
Yeah, like just don't hurt yourself.
I always
Live
say I
in
want these new things. Like, I want the new swords, I want the new stone forges, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna go to my value bin eBay bargain that I got where they're, looks like a dog chewed on them, but hey, they're sleeve playable.
looks like a
I
dog.
like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, all of that's very much, very good advice to everybody, those who are listening, especially. Yeah, I'm the same way. Very much the same way. If I have expendable income, a lot of the time I'm gonna spend money on something just because I enjoy things. I enjoy having things on. But yeah, this is one of those circumstances. Where as much as I love everything about this, and I will say, excuse me, I will say that Wizards did an absolutely stellar job with the Core 21 VIP boosters, the collector's boosters. They did a really, really good job with those. I was watching some box openings of them, and they were insane. Like, the value in them was really, really, really good. Lots of cool cards coming out of it. And then on top of that, and then my friend bought a box, a VIP booster box, and so I helped him crack that open. And just like, yeah, it's super cool, and it's definitely a very solid product. I expect that they're gonna piggyback off of that success with this the VIP set here, um, especially considering like the quality of the cards in the set. It's just gonna be even more enticing to pick up. But yeah, definitely don't break your financial bank on these things. So. Cool. Moving on here, we're going to talk about Players Tour Finals. So we had the Players Tour Finals happen. The group stages happened over the last weekend here, and we broke into a top 8. We figured out who that's going to be, and kind of looking at the breakdown. Now, the page we have pulled up here is just the deck lists. We can go kind of pan through each of the deck lists to see what they're all about. But just to look at the drop down here, we have one. So we have Team Iraq, Mardu Winoda, Mono Black Aggro, Junsack, Azorius Control, 4-color Rec, 4-color Rec, Team Iraq. So 4 Rec decks in the top 8, 4 non-Rec decks in the top 8. What do you guys think of our top 8? And I guess overall, I don't know if you guys followed the tournament much, but what do you guys think of the kind of the breakdown of the event too?
Honestly, I'm kind of impressed it wasn't closer to 5 or 6 rec decks top aided. Just because like there's always decks that can and have the ability to fight rec. Like you're under it mono black, but like it's not always promised with Timarek. Timarek is just very good. Like it's frustratingly good.
Yep, I definitely hear you there. And I'm the same way. I'm surprised there wasn't more decks in the top 8 that were rec decks. Considering the field, right? The field was like 55% reclamation decks between Teamer and 4-color. So that's pretty substantial, I would say. So
I would like to say I wish I was going to look at these deck lists and see something new, but I think we are all settled in, like we spoke on last episode. We're pretty much settled into dealing with reclamation until it rotates. So you
Yeah.
can always expect to see,
some amount.
30 to 45% of the field in any top situation be reclamation decks. The Jund Sacrifice deck, I am really happy to see. That's probably the only deck I am really happy to see take off. I know Solemn Simulacrum was a good addition to that deck. It's just a good thing to get rid of. It's a good thing to block with. When Corvold got spoiled in the Brawl decks, I was like, this guy's cool. I really wish he could be played. And now here we are, what, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months later? And he's top 8ing. So good for you, guy. Good for you, Jund Sacrifice players. Blue Eye Control, always a steady option, I think, in any format. It's been creeping up a lot in Modern lately. It's actually one of the top 3 contenders in Modern again. I have multiple friends that are Blue White Control players, and they're jumping up and down for joy. Four color reclamation, teamer reclamation. It's just I enjoy the variety of the archetype. I'm just not enjoying the archetype itself.
I
Yeah.
think that's a very solid, actually. Like, the deck's fun and whatnot, but it's just so good that it's like its performance has taken away from the fun of the deck to an extent.
I also think it's also taken away from the fun of the format, right? Like it's a situation where you're almost kind of shoehorned into either playing rec or playing a one particular deck or two particular strategies that can go under rec, but maybe are just kind of soft to other things in the format. So it's like, uh, you have some very odd meta patterns with decks like Reclamation in there. Um, I definitely agree that like seeing I like that the Players Tour had the variety that it did in the top 8, considering what the field was looking like, almost more than half the field being Reclamation decks. Um, it's nice to see. I'm just worried that, I mean, I guess it being the Players Tour finals, right? Like there isn't going to be another Players Tour or another Players Tour cycle, right, before rotation happens, or at least not another finals before rotation happens, right? So this is kind of the last like hoorah for Reclamation, essentially, at like some of these majors. Aside from, I know, discounting Star City or whatever, right? Discounting some of their finals, season finals. Um, this is kind of the last big hurrah for the deck. And I think that it sucks that we have to endure it for another little while, but I think Pokey, you hit it on the head that we have to resign ourselves to the fact that this is what we live with for the next few months. And I worry that I worry that and I know that people were even now, people, professionals, are calling for and kind of throwing out on Twitter that things like Growth Spiral should be banned because it's just too powerful, or Wreck should be banned, or Three Fairy should be banned, or whatever, right? Like or Uro is going to be a problem going forward, which that might be more of a justifiable discussion point come rotation, but even with the rotation on the horizon, people are still calling for cards that are rotating out of the format to be banned just to make standard that much more bearable. And at the same time, I also saw that like SEG events for standard weren't even firing because just the format is so in such a bad place right now, by a lot of people's standard, that just nobody wants to play the format. And I've seen a lot more professionals who you think that they're standard ringers. They come in and crush in their standard events. They're moving to historic. I mean, whether it be because of the Arena Open coming up or just because the format's a lot more open and interesting potentially than, well, I shouldn't even say that, but the format's a little bit, it's different. It's just different than standard, right? We've kind of lived in this Reclamation dominated standard for so long, that they're just wanting something else to do and something else to play that just kind of brings back the fun and joy of playing Magic again, right? So I guess kind of leading into kind of actually an interesting, I guess before we go into that, Shinogi, do you got any thoughts on this on the rec stuff, or on the top 8 here?
I haven't been following the top this tour, but I'm a big fan of Mardu Winota.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that deck. It's effective. Okay, it really is.
I was say, that was a deck you were on early, wasn't it?
Yeah, not this version, no, but like yeah, so like
Paw Blade.
The concept of
yeah.
Mardu Winota.
Yeah, the deck has evolved quite a bit since the Paw Blade days. I think they've trimmed they trimmed the paw, most of the paw out of the blade, out of the Paw
I
Blade.
mean, General's Enforcer and Winota together is just flawless.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and the
So
deck still curves out really, really well too. Like I played a couple games with it, and yeah, I mean, it just didn't feel close.
what are its payoff units? Is it on like Haktos and Kenrith still?
No, it's Basri's Lieutenant, General Enforcer, Tajik, and Judith. Kind of are their big payoffs now.
So they're more low to the ground than before.
Yeah, they're a little bit more lower to the
Because
ground.
before it was like try to cheat in this big human like Kenrith and
Right.
whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, and they're taking advantage of being lower to the ground because kind of the entire the curve at the top end shifted down to the low end where they now have a one drop in the
Now I'm
well, the Knight of the
curious.
Ebon Legion, and then they have the dog.
I'm curious about the Woe Strider though. Is that just for the scry or is it just
Probably.
He makes two. He's two bodies too.
Yeah, he is also
okay?
two bodies. Yeah, which
He's
which
two
It's two.
bodies, Scry, and he's good with Judith. You get to
yep,
play
Okay,
like the
okay.
red black sack. Like you can
yeah,
make a
Oh,
big board
so
and
see-
then like red black sack ping them away.
Oh, man.
A lot of people overlook it. I've seen it on Arena multiple times. Is that 0-1 is a non-human and it can
yep,
turn sideways.
yep,
It is a Winota
Mhm.
trigger.
yep. That is true.
I've seen a lot of people leave it 0-1 back and only get 1 or 2 Winota triggers.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean between like the additional token generators and having Selfless Savior in the one drop slot now, and just generally the whole deck is a lot lower to the ground. They've taken out Kenrith out of the main deck, moved into the sideboard, and essentially have gone, yeah, just like they really take advantage of Judith, Tajik, Osri's Lieutenant to make your and they're even playing Venerated Loxodon, right? Just to make your board that much more resilient because you are going so wide. So it's a super sweet deck. The deck is definitely transformed. And it's super cool to play. I definitely recommend people up and try it out. So I guess what are your guys' predictions going forward? Who do you think's gonna win it? Who do you think's gonna take it down at the end of the day?
I'll answer this two-part. I want to see either this Mardu Winota or that mono black deck win. I think those are two lesser seen decks that are performing very well. Obviously, they top aided. Unfortunately, one of the rec players is probably gonna win.
I just want to see Reclamation not make it just once.
The,
Just once.
theoretically, depending on how it's positioned, you could be promised a rec deck in the finals.
Yeah, so I'd have to look and see. I know that they're doing the seeding on Twitch today, so I'm curious as to. Oh yeah, they are in fact live, but I don't see. They're just kind of right now. It looks like they're on a break. They're just showcasing, or they're just showcasing some of the decks at the moment. But
Mhm.
I don't. Yeah, well, I'll keep it up, and if I see them pull up the bracket for seeds, we'll very quickly touch on that. But cool. So yeah, it looks like they are kind of just talking through right now. They're not on break or anything, but they are just talking through stuff. But yeah, so yeah, I mean that's it. I personally would love to see Winota take it down. Just because it's something new, right? It's something that is it's new, it's different, it's not quite it's kind of almost in a sense like a combo, like an aggro combo deck that is very strong, and so hopefully it has a favorable path through to the finals and can take down the tournament. But I know a lot of people are talking about Alan Wu being just like the guy to beat, apparently for some reason. I don't know whether I don't know whether he is like super good with Team Rec or what have you, but
I think he's like, I forget what it is. I think every event, every big event he has played, he's like top 32, correct?
okay, so he's a very consistent player. He's a very
He is
very
putting
top
up
tier consistent player.
with that deck, yeah. Like
Yeah.
he knows every line. He's very mastered in. as far as I'm.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, I mean, but I'd love to see something else take the tournament down. What I am worried about, though, from this diversity of top eight is, um, if there were a world where Wizards would be potentially making a banner restricted announcement for the rest and remainder of standard up until rotation. I will say that this standard, I don't. If they're looking at the top eight alone, it does not lend itself to anything happening. If they look at the overall field of the decks, maybe there's something for them to do there. But I don't expect anything to happen, unfortunately. I mean, obviously for the reasons that we've stated in the previous episode and this episode, that we're just too close to rotation for it to really matter. There's no other big, Players Tour finals or anything, I don't think, happening between now and rotation. We just kind of have to wait it out for rotation to fix the format, hopefully. So, yeah. That being said, there is something that I did want to touch on very quickly with the banning and unbanning discussion. With rotation, there are people who are and professionals thinking that Fires of Invention may be okay enough to come off the ban list for standard once rotation hits, because we won't have Teferi in the format anymore. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something that is realistic? Is that okay? Or I guess did Fires of Invention die for Teferi's sins in the format, or is really truthfully Fires of Invention that powerful of a card that it should just stay off on the ban list?
So it's the issue with the card is it's a mini omniscience, and like it just the value that comes with being a card connected to that is insane. Like, because you play, let's say you play it on 4, and then you play a 4-drop. You just essentially got 8 mana worth of cards on 4. You can be up to 10 mana of cards on 5. Like, just the symmetry break that it does. Like, oh darn, I can't play on your turn. Let me just jam 2 planeswalkers on 5 or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think the card is still a problem. Without Teferi, I think. Cause I
Or I
don't
guess Nissa
realistically
too.
think. Yeah, like it's just hard because like maybe it died. I personally don't believe it died for any a Teferi thing. I think Teferi was always a strong card, but I've never personally had a problem with Teferi as a whole. Um, I don't think Fires died for it. I think Fires was just a good card, and I think Wizards did the right thing by banning it. Um, I don't know. It's a tough spot.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there are slim implications where unbanning Fires of Invention would be a problem. However, on every other scale, I think it's fine to unban it. I know a lot of the problems that came off the back of Fires of Invention is mainly it's fueled by your land drops, and it's a 4-drop. I get that. And the biggest issue with that was we had Narset at 3 and Teferi at 3, and then the following turn you have Nissa at 5. Now, assuming you make your land drops, that's where that was the whole issue of the card. I've played the card in standard, historic. I have seen people play it in modern in various combo decks. I have seen EDH decks play it everywhere. I've seen Legacy and Vintage try to play it. Its biggest issue is the turn that it comes down and the time you're able to utilize it with, and just things like having Teferi or uh, for some unknown reason why. I think I saw a Kinrith deck a while back that was running it, and they just played Fires of Invention and then immediately slammed a Wilderness Reclamation, and the following turn just played a Kinrith and didn't care. Again, all of those very situational. We're going to be losing Wilderness Reclamation. I believe we're losing that whole Ravnica block, correct? So
Yeah.
Teferi and everything's going to be gone too.
Yeah.
Yes, we're losing the whole round.
So
Big
I
time.
don't really think there's a too terrible of an issue for it. Again, I think it's one of those cards that just you just need to try it. And again, I'll give you this one. I'll give you this one, Braxton. The list of which I will not speak is a good idea for cards like this
Oh, you
because
you
it's
you mean
very
this?
because it's
You
very
mean the
situational.
suspension list?
The
Is that
list
what
of
you're
which
referencing?
the list of which I will not speak. Yes.
The one I spoke on that I love?
Yes. I will give
Yeah,
you this
okay.
one. This is very much meant for cards like this. It's
Oh,
detrimental to
okay.
formats. However, it is fun everywhere else. So I would like to see it back later. I just definitely don't want it back now.
You know what? You know what the issue is though with that. We'll take a brief moment for me to say something about the suspension list. Wizards hates bringing cards off the band, off specifically the banned list. And that was part of their when they announced the suspension list. That's what they said is they hate bringing cards off the banned list, so they would prefer the suspension list was supposed to give them the ability to not have to pull cards off that.
Right. As long as
But
something's not on the suspended list for I think a majority of its lifespan within the
oh
standard
no,
format or, historic is eternal. I get that. As long as it's not on there for and I think they said what a season is how long the ban list
it get
runs?
the suspension list. They've held themselves to having an answer on the card within a couple months. So like voting tree just went on, but at the announcement, I'd say by September we know if it is staying, if it's being banned or being brought back, because its timing allows Zendikar to be in historic. So like, I think real quick, a card I wanted to reference Fires of Invention to. Um, I don't know how many people played Standard during Kaladesh, but Aetherworks Marvel continued was a card that avoided a lot of bans. And the issue with Aetherworks Marvel was the fact that you could ban all the cards. Like they banned Emrakul from multiple decks, but like people were calling for Ulamog to get banned. The issue is there's always something big to cheat in. And I think Fires of Invention has that same feel. Like if you don't take Fires of
Oh, absolutely.
and just try to take some of its fuel, you're like, Zendikar's gonna give me some big dumb creature to drop in. We are totally aware of that. There's no way they don't.
It definitely has a slower clock than Aetherworks Marvel does, and also the heavy restriction of not being able to play on your opponent's turn. But then again, there's a lot of good creatures that just have activated abilities that everyone overlooks. And that's why when I saw the Team of Reclamation and Fires of Invention packaged together and they were just running all these dudes that
With
could just
payoff.
do things on your opponent's turn with activated abilities, that's when I was like, okay, this is, a problem. And I agree with that. Fires of Invention has a very big power scaling factor to it, to where it is just I play a land, cool, I get a free 5 drop. I play a land, cool, I get a free 6 drop.
It's essentially a mana doubler to an extent.
Yeah. I think it's interesting though that Wizards has been kind of on the fence and has kind of teetered on both sides of the issue of whether or not to ban the source of the problem or to ban the payoffs of the problem. Right? We've seen that in multiple instances. Example, like you had mentioned with Aetherworks Marvel, banning all of the payoffs for Aetherworks Marvel, but never actually banning the card itself. And then, but then at the same time, they'll do something like ban they'll ban Fires of Invention because Fires of Invention enabled too much, but they'll also then go and ban and I'm gonna say this for a very in a very specific way, and I'm not justifying that it being unbanned or anything, but they banned Agent of Treachery, but not banned Winota, where because Winota was kind of the problem. Winota was the thing, and I think the reasoning for them behind banning some of the sources of them is that those limited design space, in that they, for example, couldn't print any big idiot creatures anymore with Aetherworks Marvel, but they kept it around if you think about it, and but like for Winota, they can't print any really powerful human creatures because and clearly because Winota is still making waves now, even with the top 8 of the Players Tour, like they can't print any creatures that are humans that are powerful, because it's just going to get cheated in by Winota. It's going to get cheated in by Luca. Like there's just it's weird that they're kind of on both sides of the fence and they can't pick a side. I am of the fan of, and I think that justifiably Fires realistically should have been banned or should be banned. As much as I love the card, ban the source of the problems, not the payoffs, because there's always going to be more payoffs. There's always going to be something to do with that problem card. If you just ban some of the payoffs out of it. So, but yeah. So okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, I think that I personally would love to see the card come off the list just because I love the card, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I think it would be an interesting to see. So I'm gonna make the case for it coming off the list when rotation comes around, because if we think about it, right, what do we lose out of rotation? We lose all of the Ravnica stuff, right? We lose all of those, the Planeswalkers, all the Bant Ram strategies kind of get dumped on as far as their some of their power, and the Reclamation deck goes away. But you know what deck does stick around and sticks around in I think it changes, but it definitely sticks around, is the Sacrifice deck, right? Sacrifice loses a couple of its pieces, but generally like kind of the core engine is there, and so the deck will change to still be very consistent in the format, I think. And with that happening, I would love to see kind of something come back to kind of balance out the power of the format a bit, right off the jump. Just put Fires of Invention back in the format. Let it ride with the new set. See what happens. Maybe they have to take it off again or something. But I don't know. That's just me. Cool. Well, we are kind of running short here on time, but we are going to very quickly touch on the Arena Open for the weekend, and then our articles coming up for the week. So, Arena Open starts tomorrow. Historic. Best of 1 for day 1, best of 3 for day 2. We have an article, or I wrote an article on best of 1, day 1 strategies and potential deck options on the website, so you guys can check that out if you would like to read up on that some. And I've also been doing a little bit of digging and research on some stuff for day 1, day 2 stuff, what people are saying. What do you guys think about or if you guys are playing in the event, what are you guys looking to play on day 1?
I haven't heard from Shinogi in a. Is he here? Is he alive?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
What are you playing day 1, dude?
Is that even like? Do you have to ask that, bro? Mono red, bro. In and out. Best
That's
of 1.
Are you playing
Let's
like
go.
Are you playing the aggro? Bro, just mono red aggro.
Yeah, mono red aggro. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't think I'm not gonna go goblins. It's everyone knows that's gonna be a thing, so everyone's gonna counter that real quick.
That's pretty. If we're being honest, I'm gonna make a one run with the Turbo Muxus Goblins build.
Oh,
I'm
you're one of
gonna do
those.
it. I love the deck.
Oh, don't get me
Deck's
wrong,
great.
dude. That card's freaking a monster.
Busted. Muxus is busted. That's why I'm gonna play him. I'll probably make some sort of aggro run to. I don't know. I might play Timarek best of 1. I've also been putting a lot of rep in on the Kethis combo deck. That's something I might best of 1 play
Okay.
because it kills under the quickest Goblin turn. And realistically, no one's going to play like Tormod's Crypts in their main board, more than likely.
You say that.
Well, the deck
Yeah,
I wrote an article
knock on
about
wood, I
just
guess,
recently, I think that's the deck I'm actually going to go with, because it really
You're talking about your Rakdos Cavalcade or whatever?
No,
Oh, the
no, no, no. It's
the
the
Sand Plotter deck.
yeah, it's the mono red with the lightning axe and the bolt hound and all that. Honestly,
Oh
that
yeah.
literally like, it really stands toe to toe with the goblins, because I do have the chain roller and all that stuff, and I just feel like it it goes toe to toe, really good.
Now,
So
this was the list you were playing last night, correct?
yes,
That's the list I was playing last night.
See, I really enjoyed that list. That list looked very clean. It felt like you had a good answer for every board state.
hmm
And I think that's the kind of best of one deck you want to take in. You just need to have answers right now, especially with how the meta is. And, you're playing red and black. Some answers are pretty limited. But I think that deck gets there.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm just crossing my fingers, honestly,
Yeah,
because
I
there's going to
think.
be some crazy decks tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. I think that I'm gonna play Death Whirler, not the Goblins version, but the red aggro Death Whirler. I'm gonna make a run with that, and I'm probably gonna make a run maybe with like mono or with like either the auras deck potentially, or even like a tempered steel deck or something, like just something fast aggressive that gets there, that has a good amount of reach. And I think that and I echo this. I definitely agree with this. I was watching Croaky's stream the other day, and
Monster.
he was doing some testing with Jundsack, and he was saying, "Don't play for day one. Don't play goblins. Don't play wreck. You're gonna get hated out. People are gonna be expecting it, and so just don't play those decks. Play literally anything else, though. You should be okay." Um, and I agree with that to an extent. I agree to the point that I don't think that most people are going to be playing Tormod scripts or something in their main deck. People are definitely going to be playing main deck removal, or board wipers or board wipes. So there is potential for like that to go wrong. There might be counter magic available or something as well too for rec. There's a lot of or people are playing decks that get under rec. Mostly, that's what I expect, is that people are gonna just go fast. So kind of I expect also to just try to go fast and make that work. I think also one other deck I'm gonna try to make a run with, and this is just pure unadulterated speculation of I have put up a list in the past, and I did try a run with this during the original Arena Open, which actually was my best run, oddly enough. It was oh god, what is it? It is a Esper, like basically Esper control, but it has it's playing uh a lot of different anti-meta choices and card picks. So actually, real quick, I pulled up my arena. Oh god, the season ended just now. I just pulled it up. Season's done. So I'm pulling up my arena. If you guys want to pop in to check that real fast, I'll show you.
Speaking of rewards, they should be I keep saying this, more than just 6 packs. When you
No, you're
hit
not wrong.
I
limit.
totally.
You're not wrong. That might be something to write an article about.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So yeah, so like this is the best of one. It's a Yorion deck. And I probably could make a version without Yorion, but this is like a pure anti-meta stance. Playing cards like we're playing main deck Cages, main deck Leyline of the Void, main deck Cry of the Carnarium, Timely Reinforcements, Ashiok's and Kaya's, just like hard counter the aggressive fast meta with lots of answers, and then you eventually will either win the game through things like, you Gonti them and get their cards, or you get to you kind of take over the game with like Ashiok or Kaya, with the goal ideally of like exiling everything and killing them with Kaya. But you get a lot of answers to like faster decks, and then for Reclamation, unfortunately, like Reclamation, you're playing Agonizing Remorse main deck, you're playing Gonti to steal some of their reclamations, you're playing ECD, things like that to deal with that kind of thing, and then Grim Tutor to kind of tie it all together, since it is an 80 card list. So I might make a run with this. I might have to do a little bit of fine tweaking on it just to account for a couple of other things, but I think that there is, if everybody is truly just going fast and you can stabilize on turn 3 with Timely or Cry, there's potential for really good things to come kind of off in the future. So
I'm actually a big fan of this list in a best of one format. Yorion has a ton of upside in this list. You have 3 very high value planeswalkers that you want to reset. Getting your Gonti off the board and back in, along with ECD, even a all looks good. Glass Casket can even reset a target on that is super strong.
yep.
Heartless Act, Agonizing Remorse. I really like the early game. The Four Grafdigger's Cage. I'm a huge fan of. I think if you're going into a best of one format in this setting and you're playing any kind of combination of black or a control list, and you don't have that exact number of Leyline of the Voids in this, and this it's coming from your very very casual player here. I think you're wrong. I think if you're not playing 3 Lane on the Void and this is your strategy, I think you're extremely wrong. And I pray that someone teaches you a lesson. I'm a huge advocate for Leyline of the Void. I
Oh
love
yeah,
that
me too.
card. I've played it ever since I found out black was a color in modern. Cry the Carnarium. What's your call on Cry the Carnarium as your sweeper in this spot?
I like it just because it can come. So like in the worst case scenarios, like on 3, my goblin opponent is probably like got 3 or 4 goblins. Maybe they have a um what's it called, a chieftain
Lord of
in
some
play,
sort.
right? Maybe they have a chieftain in play, and this just cleans up the entire slot, the entire board. Same with elves. This basically clears up the entire board as well. It'll deal with uh, most of the lords, and then resounding the residual damage or -1 counters or -2 will deal with the rest of it. I think Cry is super crucial in a best of one, and then even with like the burn strategy, right? The like I'm gonna play Gitu Lava Runner and Robber of the Rich and stuff like that, right? Like that just cleans it all up, right? It doesn't deal with the Chain Whirler, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we can deal with Chain Whirler in a multitude of ways here too. Like ECD can deal with it, Shatter still deals with it. So there's tons of great options to deal with that as well. So I think Cry is super good.
Grafdigger's Cage shutting down the graveyard. Your Leyline of the Void comes in
Grab,
and is going to clean it all up, and then you just slap a Kaya
call it a day.
and upticks to a GG. I've done
Also,
that many times in Modern. People overlook it sometimes when they see this combination. It is a very viable strategy, and honestly, I respect anybody that does that. Just play a Kaya that everyone overlooked and was underwhelming, and they said, "Oh, this isn't a card. This Planeswalker's kind of bad." I jammed 4 of them into Death and Taxes in Modern. I play at Cool Stuff in Orlando. I top 4 and top 8ed many Monday Night Moderns. They get anywhere from like 25 to 30 people on a Monday Night Modern. So, and I'm not that good of a player. So these cards are just yes.
powerful.
I want this deck list. I
I'll
will
send it to you.
if I was to do something,
I'm
this is
not
what I would be playing.
I'm not that good, but I consistently top 8 in semi. Weird flex.
I will say Grafdigger's Cage, while yes, it shuts down the graveyard, it also shuts down Muxus. It also shuts down Experimental Frenzy from the random, like just the pure mono red aggro decks. It shuts down um it obviously shuts down like Kethis and Underworld Breach combo as well too. And then it shuts down Uro for the rec matchups. I think the card is super underrated. And it's probably something, yeah, in the best of one format, like it needs to kind of it needs to have a place in the main deck somewhere, because it just wins you, or it puts you in such a favorable position against so many matchups in the meta game right now that it is 100% worth playing. The other card that I was looking at trying to figure out if I wanted to play in this list, and I had in my other list, was Extinction Event. And I think it's also a really powerful option, but I don't know that I can find the room for it in here, just because I think Timely and Cry and actually realistically the addition of Grim Tutor is kind of taking over that space. Grim Tutor is so crucial, I think, in this deck. It's just your silver bullet to find everything you need. Alternatively, I was also thinking about adding Karn into this list and having an artifact wish board. I was thinking about adding Mastermind's Acquisition and having just a really solid sideboard or wish board available to me for best of ones. Just like being able to pull Unmoored Ego or Necromentia out of the sideboard to hit a rec player is usually always good, or to be able to hit a Muxus or Krenko out of Goblins probably might be worthwhile. So I need to figure out kind of where that might be. It might unfortunately be the Gonti that comes out of this, but I just don't know. I might have to tweak this a bit more, but yeah, this might be the other deck that I make a run with. I might just play like red to get a feel for what people are playing, and then if this is good, then I'll play it. But yeah, Pokey, do you think you're going to be playing any the event at all?
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be, as much as I have been dying to get my new pet deck out into the world. I recently have come across a promotion at work, and I am doing a lot more hours because of it.
Ah,
I'm in the middle of training for that right now, so my competitive gameplay is a little slow at this moment. But
gotcha.
once this gets settled on, I definitely am going to be jumping on the next set. I would love to bask in glory with you guys on these things, but for now, I'm going to be your cheerleader. So go team.
Right on.
Hope you guys knock it out of the park this weekend.
Yeah, I think we've I know that like Shinogi's been grinding a ton and Braxton's been grinding a ton. So I think that we've all been doing our prep and our research and homework. So hopefully we'll make some good headway, and we'll talk about it at the next podcast for sure. Lastly, here just to kind of close out, we're going to be talking. Let's just talk real fast about our upcoming articles for the week. And I guess we will start with kind of going in sequential order. I know that Braxton and Pokey, your guys' articles are going to be coming on Sunday. Oh, I guess for what it's worth, guys, we're recording this on a Friday, so we normally record these on Sunday, but we had to do it a little bit early this week. But for Sunday, what do you guys got coming up for your articles?
I'm going to be writing for tomorrow. I've got to finish it up. You did day one expectations for the Arena Open. I am going to be writing on what I expect out of day two of the Arena Open. Just kind of what decks will make the 2K, what to expect, that sort of thing.
Oh, okay. I and this is my bad. Braxton, yours is coming out on Saturday. I forgot. I thought
Mine'll be on Saturday. Yeah.
Today feels like Saturday to me for some reason. So yeah, but you know it's yeah. So okay, yeah. So Braxton, yours is coming out. So best of 3. Day 2 of the Arena Open. Okay, that'll be an interesting article to read. Kind of the precursor to that, like I mentioned, we have the best of 1 article that I wrote earlier in the week. So go check that out if you're looking for deck ideas. There are a good number of lists in here that I've put together for your consideration of the different different deck styles. So aggro, mid range, control, and then breaking down just different combo decks in here throughout that are in the format that you can take a look at, grab some of these lists and jam for Saturday, and then Braxton will be covering the best of 3 for Sunday for day 2. So cool. Pokey, what are you writing on this week for Sunday's release?
My article this week is actually going to be over. Well, we talked about it a lot earlier. The downshifts that are no big problem, man. I was actually excited. I was super excited that someone else picked up on it, and I was like, Shinogi gets me. And then I was like, wait a minute. My article is going to be over the downshifts in the new set that's going to be for Pauper legal format. We went over a couple of them already. We talked about Bone Picker. Oubliette got a huge reprint. Cast Down's back in there, and then there's a lot of others that I'm just super excited about. Some good replacements. Some that are just kind of like, I'm really sad to see that Tron died because we did get the Chromatic Star reprint, but live and let die. So I'm gonna have an article up about the Pauper format and some changes we might see to that coming up with some reprints. I'm super excited. We're gonna have some mono black control. Maybe have a list up for that. Any of you Pauper players out there, the 5 or 6 of you.
The 5 or 6. The 5 or 6 of you that I run into on Moto occasionally.
It's all commons. None of you have an excuse. You should all have a Pauper deck.
I played Delver and
No, this is
Pauper, so
factual.
I have a mono red popper deck already, so
No way. Mono red popper, not a chance.
dude, I win every fucking event, bro, with it.
Serious note, that deck's busted. That's basically Legacy, bro.
Yeah.
In the
It pretty
Pauper
much is.
format.
that's pretty gross.
I can't say much. I play Kiln Fiend combo in Pauper.
Ugh.
I'm on the red white list. A lot more protection. You did get monastery, not monastery Swiss. Who am I thinking? Secret of the Way was
Yeah.
downshifted to a common recently, so I get to flex
I
my cool
forgot
promos of
about
that.
that.
I get to flex my cool promo Secret of the Ways. We've got Kiln Fiend in there. We've got a couple of the older from Theros, the Satyr Hoplite, and the Chrono Crusader. It's got a lot of good. What was that ability where you target the
Heroic.
Heroic.
Thank you guys, man. It's my deck and I can't remember keywords. So it's a good mix. We got the splash of heroic in there. We've got some cartouches, God's willing. We've got some rebound protection. It's just a fun deck. I'm really glad they got Gush out of there. That was one of my biggest crutches was just running into foil Gush, and I'm like, all right, good game.
Yeah, I used to play. I played Peregrine Drake combo back when it was legal, and then I played Delver, Teamer Delver. That was, and then this was back during when this was back when Gush was legal and Days was legal. So yeah, it's been a little while since I played. My article for the week that I'll be writing, I'm going to be continuing my historically accurate series. That's just the title of the series for my articles is just historically accurate. Last week we covered, or one of the articles last week that I put out was Amonkhet Remastered, talking about a couple of deck lists that are potentially coming up with that coming out in a couple of weeks. So that's very exciting. Talked about Hazoret Red, and we talked about Bant Approach of the Second Sun deck, so Bant and Esper Approach. We're going to continue the series this week, talking about a couple of other decks, the Cycling deck for one, and then also talking about some deck that's going to involve, and I have to go back to look at what was in the standard format at the time it was being played, but talking about Scarab God shenanigans. So we'll cover those couple of decks this week here as well, too. And then... Shinogi, what do you got going on for this week, man?
You know, before this podcast, I was like, I'm gonna do another deck tech, but after talking about the rewards for after getting mythic and stuff like that, I think I'm gonna write an open letter to Arena and just talk about how we can be better with that. You know?
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
I
think
it.
I think there is a lot of buzz kind of around
that. Yeah, I'm gonna break down some stuff and honestly talk about the system of wild cards and everything, because I am actually tired of spending $50 to $100 just to get wild cards. And I can guarantee many people are in the same boat as I am.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably write an open letter about it, just to break stuff down.
I'm actually excited to see that. I've been a long time advocate of, wow, this deck is $25 to build with bulk rares, but for some reason it's 130 and 18 drafts to build on Arena.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to the current economy system, but I'd say it is in need of a kind of a revamp with the ladder grind and all that stuff. So that'll definitely be a very interesting read. For sure. So everybody definitely check those out. Tune into the site, subscribe to the site, and for articles, subscribe and follow us on Twitter, 10th Street News on Twitter, and then I am at Esports Allen on Twitter, Mythic Shinogi, Braxton Wolf, and I think yours is just Pokepope, right?
Absolutely. I try to keep it simple.
Yeah. So go ahead, follow all of us on Twitter. Guys, drop your comments down below what you guys think of what we talked about today. What are you guys excited about for Double Masters? What are your thoughts on the Pro Tour Finals? What are you guys playing in the Arena Open? And also, again, subscribe to the channel for more content from us, more podcasts. Lets us know that you guys like what we're doing. And yeah, I think with that being said, that's all that we have for you guys this week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today for the podcast, and we will see you guys next week.
See you later.